This is from the beginning of March this year. I'm using half a studio for my game and computer equipment. I got a computer on each side of the room with consoles and storage in the middle. Now, there have been a few changes since then involving monitors, a wheel, and a mining rig. With less clutter coming in the future, the Megaroom will then be complete. So let's break this down and first look at my primary computer. So, first off, I got two Dell 27-inch monitors on the left and center that support 1440p 144 frames, and the one on the right is an Asus 28-inch. It's a 4K 60 monitor. I got it off warehouse deals off Amazon. It was $200. It's pretty good. It's bang for the buck. So next I got a Blue Yeti microphone I've had for a little while, just to improve audio noise quality. Just don't want to use a headset. I do, however, have a Razer Kraken X headset just to listen to Discord calls when I'm doing wars and stuff. And in the middle of the picture, I got a Logitech G920 racing wheel and pedals. It's sort of used for an introduction to racing sims. Works pretty good for me. It's got some feedback, it makes the realistic, more simulator games more fun for sure than some cheap little other wheel I have that you can only steer a little bit. So keyboard and mouse, I'm not going to go into it. I've just got cheap ones that I could find. I don't really care about the looks of them. They just do what they need to do, and I can see them in the dark. Good enough for me. At the bottom by my computer tower there, I got a CyberPower UPS, so if the power goes out, my components here, including my console, keep running. The only thing that doesn't run is the internet, so if I lose power, I lose internet. And yeah, I got Bose stereo speakers sitting right behind the microphone. Just two little speakers there I've had for a while. They sound pretty good though. So they're good computer speakers. Down the road, I want to upgrade to a full sound system for the room, and that way it'll be like a complete multi-purpose room for watching movies, playing music, you name it. It'll be really good in there. I got on the left Xbox One controllers and dock, just so I can, play controller games on the computer a lot better and not having to swap out batteries. I got a Beats Solo. I got wireless headphones. They were, I think, a Black Friday deal or something a little bit ago, and got them for $100. They're pretty good for a Bluetooth headset. Of course, I got a computer tower on the bottom there on the right side. We'll go into details about that in a sec. And of course, a Mega Mushroom. Can't forget that. Probably the best part of this setup is the Mega Mushroom there. And so here we are to the tower. If you look really closely, you can see my reflection. Nah, I'm just kidding. Alright, so this tower has AMD 5600X for processor, EVGA 3090, 64 gigs of RAM, 850 watt power supply, X570 motherboard, and a whole whack of fast storage. So I got a half a terabyte of WD Black. These are made for PCI 4, so these speeds get up to 7 gig read and I believe 5 write. For that one, same thing goes with the 2 terabyte one there. So I'll have 3 M.2 SSDs in there. The 2 terabyte one's going to be for videos and editing. The 1 terabyte is for my games and software, and yeah, the main one, the 500 gigabytes, just for my operating system. It's about well above what I'll need and a bit overkill, and I'll never use those speeds, but that's just what it is. Alright, so in my middle section, I got a BenQ TK800 4K projector. I used to main Mario Kart Wii on it, and despite the thoughts of it being super high latency, I got like 1080 gaming for like up to 80 milliseconds of latency, which sounds massive, but it is playable. It's completely playable. Split-second decisions might be a little bit of an issue, but otherwise it was completely playable, and it was actually hilarious and fun to play on a massive screen at the same time. It's definitely past 100 inches on the wall. And so next on the shelf, we'll start on the left. I got my Wii U and gamepad hiding in the dark there. I got my controllers and stuff. That's the main console I play on all the time, and I normally put it on my right monitor, the 4K one. And there will be a reason for that when I get to the end of this. So under the Wii U, I got the Xbox One, and under that, Xbox 360. Jumping over to the right side, I got a black Wii for all my alting purposes. No, not really. Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo 64, and that's it for the side cabinets. On the top, we got a router for out in the studio, because this isn't part of the house, so I need better reception, and I linked wired all the way down here so I get the best connection possible. I got a Game Boy Advance, there's Nintendo DSi's, got a couple large ones because me and my brother both had one. I got a 2DS while he had a 3DS XL or something, whatever it's called. On the right on the top is a Switch dock, the Switch of course, and a few games and controller pieces to go beside it. I don't even remember what games I have, but those are all my games sitting there. I'll probably write it in description or comments if anyone asks what I got. And right by the Switch, behind the 2DS, there's an analog switch, and I've routed all the video cables into that thing, so all I gotta do is press the button, and for an input to play on my screen is all linked up to one thing, so I don't have to re-plug everything from the back to properly configure it to display on the screen. It's just one click and you're done. Same goes for the HDMI consoles and other things like my computer. On top of my tower, I got a switch that fits 5 different HDMI cables, and it all goes to the computer on the right, which will be my capture PC. But before we get there, let's take a look inside the cabinet. So in the game cabinet, I really don't have too much to show. I got a bunch of games and stuff that I grew up having. Here's a quick look at them. There's a bunch of GBA games down at the bottom. There's a bunch more DS games, Nintendo 64 games. They're just in storage and I haven't pulled them out yet. And yeah, so any extra components, stuff ended up at the bottom. I got chargers and anything. And batteries. Yeah. Alright, starting off on the right side is the capture PC. In comparison to the other one, this is pretty crappy. But there's still one thing that stands out with it, and that's it has a 3060 Ti inside. So I got this from Dell because at the time I wanted one of the modern graphics cards. So this one has an i5-10400F. It's an alright processor, it's not too bad. It's got a 3060 Ti sitting in the case with 8GB of RAM and 256GB SSD. I really didn't go for the parts on anywhere besides the GPU in this one. But however, I installed 2 PCI capture cards, Live Gamer HD, which is the old one I had lying around. It was sort of the mistake I bought. It can record up to is 1080 30, and well, I can't stand 30 FPS anymore, so that got obsolete for me. So I got the Live Gamer 4K, which lets you record 4K 60 or 1440p 144. Much more modern, and that's the main capture card I use today. So the reason I keep this separate is to keep my resources free on my main PC in case I want to do some PC gaming and record or stream my session. That way I'm just not bottlenecking resources. And as a second alternative, I can plop a drive in here and use as a secondary gaming PC. So if I ever want to have a LAN party or whatnot, we can do so in here. Lastly, there's another Asus 4K monitor here and a 1080 144 Acer monitor in the back there. So this right here, there's a VCR, obviously, that old thing. I got a little 4-bay NAS here for network storage, so that way around the house or out on the go I can access my data more freely, and well, it's in a central area. If a computer breaks, I still got it. So I got 4 4TB WD Red drives in here, totaling up to 16, but I put them in RAID at 5 maybe. Anyways, it puts it down to 10 terabytes, but I can sacrifice a drive and it'll still work and it'll keep my data, so I got that as well. For something to do this year, I tried to do some crypto mining, but more than just a single computer scale. So here I started hanging a bunch of graphics cards on a rack, attached them to a motherboard and a couple power supplies, turned it on, and that's that. I had a spare motherboard, a CPU, and a power supply lying around. So this sort of helped kickstart getting this going. So on here, I have a 980 Ti, which I'm not even mining with because it doesn't really make anything anymore. I use it for display. It's still a decent card to game on too. I do put it in computers to game with every once in a while. On top of that, I got 3 6700 XTs. They're all slightly different. 2070 on there for my old computer. And there's a 3080 box, but there's no 3080 there. And of course the 3090 is in my computer. So that should cover it for 5 cards there. So really in the total of my house, I got 9 graphics cards going. Mining when I'm asleep, and on other times other people are using computers. They're gaming or using them for whatever reason. So that was about the main stuff to be looking at. So this is a shot from the front facing the back wall. So you can immediately see my monitors up the front. There's a little elliptical, exercise thing going there. There's in the back left corner beside the old thing, there's a mini fridge and a microwave just to keep my stuff cold. Microwave is not even being used really, it's just there, I have it. I got a couch, got a little old table. You can see a couple of the chairs that I use in there. Door on the right, bunch of empty cardboard boxes that I'm too lazy to deal with, and a bunch of windows in the back. Yeah, this is general back view of the setup. And I guess lastly here is a back view of the setup. Looks a little bit messy with where I positioned it, but it's actually pretty good. Here's a picture of my fridge. There's a little freezer part too. Summer months are coming. I've got a fan blowing at the window to keep the heat out. And there's a little mini VR setup, so you can just move the little table out of the way and do some VR if you wanted to. And that wraps up the quick tour of the Megaroom, although that was over 13 minutes. Hopefully I'll be making more content soon, and thanks for watching. And now hopefully you get to know a little more about what I play in.